Hey guys, it's Allie from Allie vLuv, and I'm here to talk about my background before I became vegan and what that entailed and all about my unhealthy eating. So I'm going to start by saying that when I was younger, I was pretty healthy to an extent. I did have Lyme disease when I was a baby. So, you know, that never leaves. Okay, so starting out from being a baby, I did have Lyme disease, which is something that stays in your body. Currently, from all I know, it is not active, which is a great sign, but it could cause problems throughout it can cause problems throughout your life, and it's never going to go away. So it's something that I have to remember to get checked every once in a while to make sure that it hasn't come back. Luckily enough, it has not come back yet, which is fantastic. So I'm going to walk myself from being little all the way through high school to where I am now. So I hope you guys enjoy my story before I became vegan, and I hope it helps you understand my perspective a little bit more. So starting out when I was younger, I was really involved in more sports activities. I did dance for a year. I did gymnastics for 3 years. I actually hurt my back doing a back bend, which I think caused a lot of problems. I did swim team for 2 years. I did track. This is all when I was younger. I did track, I think for 1 summer. And then we played outside a lot, riding our bikes, playing sports in the backyard. I had 2 older brothers. My oldest brother's 8 years older than me though, so he wasn't around too much really as I started to get older, because he was in high school when I was pretty young. And my middle brother is 2 to 3 years apart from me, depending on when our birthdays happen. So we played a lot. We had like a lot of neighborhood kids come, and we were always in the backyard, blah blah blah. So yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun, and we did a lot of things. Fast forward to about 4th grade, 3rd grade. In 3rd grade, I had a lot of issues throughout school, and they didn't think that I had any problems with writing and reading, and then I would grow into it because my vocabulary was at a 12th grade vocabulary. Eventually, I finally got an IEP, which was a lifesaver because I was able to get the help that I needed. I would literally sit at home like sobbing for 2 to 3 hours trying to get my homework finished, and I just didn't understand why I couldn't do it, and it was really frustrating. So I was able to get the IEP and get the help that I needed. So by about 5th grade, I was able to catch up to a 5th grade level, which took a lot of work, and I did summer school. That wasn't like, I was fine with like my classes and everything, but it was summer school where I was like learning about grammar and doing math things. I tested in the Z for math when I was younger, so yeah, I really had quite a bit of issues. Now, because of those issues, in 3rd grade, I decided that I would take my academics more seriously than I would take the sports. So I decided to not do extracurricular activities like gymnastics. So taking gymnastics for 3 years, I stopped, and it was kind of devastating. Not that I was great at gymnastics, but it kept me in really good shape. We're running around the track, conditioning. I think probably I should have stuck with dance, and definitely should have stuck with swimming. Definitely a lot better at swimming than I was at anything else. Unfortunately though, when you're little, you don't understand that those are extremely important, not for the competitiveness, but to keep you in shape, especially swimming. I was swimming so much. I was swimming when I was doing gymnastics. I loved swimming. We belonged to the YMCA, so we would, I don't even know how many hours I would swim. I literally would do gymnastics, and right after I would want to swim. And gymnastics was, I think, about an hour or two. I think it was around 2 hours. I was pretty little, so I don't remember. So I was doing a lot. I was doing the beam, I was doing the floor, I was doing the parallel bars, the horse, which is not called the horse anymore, I don't know what it's called. I was not particularly good at, and every time I ran like the head start, I would like stop, and then there's like a little thing that you jump up, and you're supposed to like obviously go over it, not just jump up and like place your hands and go over it. Yeah, it was just not my thing. I think I started a little too late too. I started in kindergarten instead of starting in preschool, because for preschool I did dance. Anyway, not important. The important thing is to notice that in 3rd grade is when I stopped doing those kind of activities. So I was swimming close to at least 10 hours a week during the winter time, and probably over 20 hours a week during the summertime, especially with doing swim camp. I only did swim camp 2 years, not swim camp, competitive swimming 2 years in a row, because it was pretty grueling. From there, 4th grade came around, and I did notice some problems in 4th grade from what I can remember. This is a long time ago. 4th grade came around and I was still in pretty much really small shape. I had never had a weight issue. And then 5th grade came around and like everything's changing, and I definitely got bigger, but I wasn't like obese or anything. It just was like heavier, because you're like changing and you're hungry all the time. So I definitely was overweight, but I wasn't like crazy overweight, and I personally didn't notice I was overweight. No one ever like told me. So yeah, I never had like bullying or anything. I was always like fine with everyone. And in 6th grade I wanted to fit into like this specific pair of jeans, and I had it on my closet, and I remember being like, okay, you can do this. In 6th grade, mind you, when your body is changing and going through craziness. And they were a size 1 pair of pants. I'm thinking by then I was a size 2 or 3. I was not a big person. It was just like I had never had that type of a problem before. In gymnastics, I always wore a leotard and I was fine, you know, because I was relatively smaller. So it was just like in my head, okay, this is your goal. Mind you, I never got to fit into the pair of size 1 jeans because it was an unrealistic goal considering I was growing and I wasn't eating correctly. Okay, so fast forward. 7th grade, I had a lot of issues. I was tired all the time. There's a lot of... I can't remember everything. Everything. This is so long ago. I just remember having a lot of issues in the 7th grade, just being really tired. I was hungry a lot. Definitely, like, overweight, but not, like, heavy. I was probably by then a size 5 from what I remember. Yeah, I was still relatively small. I wasn't really big. I was basically a size 5 all through 8th grade as well. I don't remember growing anything bigger than a size 5 in 8th grade. So in 7th grade, a friend wanted me to try out with her for softball, and by then my body was just a mess. Like, I wasn't conditioned correctly. I'd never played softball. I didn't really want to try out for softball, but I was just being nice and decided I would try out with her, and maybe I would like lose some weight in the process or something like that. So mind you, I never made it, nor did I want to make it on the softball team. But by then I hadn't been really doing any kind of workout. We still played outside and everything, just it wasn't the same. Schoolwork definitely got in the way because we definitely got loaded with a lot more schoolwork, the testing, and yeah, so that didn't help. Then 8th grade came around, and I don't remember being overly concerned about my weight in 8th grade, but I do remember trying to eat healthier. Like, the options that we had for the lunches, I usually bring my own lunch, but some of the times I'd go up and get the lunches from there, and they had like healthier options. So I would pick like a turkey sandwich, or, which I know it's not vegan. I was not vegan then, and in my head this was healthy, and like turkey wrap, or like the chef salad, you know, things like that. I tried to stay away from like pizzas and things like that. I remember just for lunch. I don't really remember anything else. And lunch was like ridiculously early. It was like 10:30. So by the time you had, and I didn't have breakfast starting in either 6th or 7th grade, and definitely in 8th grade I did not have breakfast because we were waking up so early that it like made me. So I remember going from a size 5 to a size 7 by the time high school started. And I was like determined to lose weight in high school. It was like a huge goal of mine. I didn't really mention it to anyone, but people like started to notice when I was like eating for lunch and stuff, and they'd be like, "Is that all you're eating?" And I was like, "Yeah, trying to lose weight." Type of thing. Like, it was like really stupid. I was eating like 1,200 calories a day. I was so hungry. I just remember being like really hungry, and for the first month of school, I will never forget, because the smallest girl in our class, she was like in gymnastics, and I like pull out my lunch or something to get something else out, and she was like, "Is that your lunch?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's rice cake with peanut butter and jelly." And it was literally like rice cake, peanut butter and jelly, and something else that was small, but the rice cake and peanut butter and jelly were my main meal for the lunch. And she's like, "Oh, is that all you're eating?" The video yesterday cut out before I was able to finish it, so I'm just going to finish it on the recorder and probably just put a few pictures of me or some vegan things going here. So continuing the story, I had like a light bulb moment of, wow, you're really not eating enough and you should be eating more. So after that, it got a little ridiculous with how I was eating. I remember specifically my sophomore year just not caring as much about what I was eating. So I would have like pizzas for lunch, not every day, but I'd have it at least once or twice a week, and they had this roll that had like chicken in it, and I would put honey mustard on top, and it was just like so unhealthy, but it was something that they offered there, and it still was so hungry, and I didn't know how to like stop me from being like super duper hungry. I didn't know the right foods to eat at the time, so unfortunately I was eating all of the wrong foods. And I know I'm telling you like the sizes in pants that I went up, and it's not because of telling you like the weight and everything. It's giving you an idea that I wasn't terribly big, but in my head I had kind of like a little bit of an issue with how I did weigh, and I wanted to look perfect in a way. Like I wanted a really flat stomach, and I wanted like a thigh gap and everything like that, when I really wasn't focused so much on the health aspect of it, where I should be working out and trying to get the right diet in place. So my diet was kind of all over the place, and I was pretty sick in high school. I was out a lot. I had stomach issues. I had severe migraines. I remember one episode where I was pretty sick when I woke up, and I was sitting in a chair, and the migraine and the spinning of the room was so debilitating that I couldn't even move. I just had to stay there, and that was probably one of the longest, like, what I call, like, episodes that I had where I couldn't really move, and it was just really frustrating that I had that, because I was sick a lot, and it wasn't helping with me with school, it wasn't helping with me with eating better, it wasn't helping with me with working out, because I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on academics because I was trying to keep up. Because I also have dyslexia and auditory processing. So, it was just so fun. So I'm going to now, I have to tell you about, I recorded this all yesterday and it completely cut out, so I didn't know until I'm recording it now. So I'm really sorry that this is such a long, like, voice record over. Flash to junior year, I was taking ballroom dancing. I did that for 3 months, and then I paid another 2 months for it. Ballroom dancing is really expensive, and I think that helped me a lot with trying to keep in shape at that time, and it also, I think, helped with my R&D. I was also diagnosed with reflex nerve dystrophy, and this was all the way from 8th grade to my junior year until they could figure out what I had. And I didn't mention the story of doing junior lifeguarding, and it was my first time doing junior lifeguarding, and I was still a decent swimmer at the time, so my friend decided she wanted to ask me and my other friend if we were going to do junior lifeguarding, like it would be a lot of fun, and we're like, oh, that sounds fun, and of course in my head I thought, oh good, I'll get in shape over the summer. So that was not the case. I ended up blowing out my knees the first day from running. I'm so lucky. And it was caused by the reflex nerve dystrophy, which is really a misconnection from your nerves to your brain. So your nerves are sending a signal to your brain stating that an activity or something that you're doing is hurting your body when it really isn't. So the connection is off, and the only way to treat it is to work out and do specific therapies. So I was in Children's Hospital for about 3 weeks for that, and I continue to still work out today in order to keep it at bay, because otherwise it kind of takes over. And it does become debilitating to be able to do things, especially if you stop working out. Now I think we are going to head into my college, because I think I'm done with high school with what happened. I think I covered everything. Sorry the camera got cut off from yesterday, so I'm going to finish talking to you guys about my vegan experience. So getting back into what I was saying, yesterday. I think I switched over now to college, and I would have been in my second semester, so it would have been a fall class. And I think that I was searching through YouTube and was looking at different things, and I had found, I think, Freely first. If I can remember correctly, I think I found Freely first. Before Freely, I found other YouTubers because I didn't actually know that YouTube was like a thing. I just thought it was somewhere to listen to music. I didn't know how people were actually doing it as a job. It's definitely become more of an awareness that YouTube is a job and can be a job, and a lot of people are trying to make it their job. But in 2013, it wasn't so big then, from what I remember. Like, I don't remember a lot of people that I knew watching YouTube videos. So when I found them, I was like, this is so cool. And I was just like, I think I was researching like healthy food or something like that. And for some reason, Freely popped up, and I watched her videos. And I literally binge watched all her videos. I remember when it was now because it was over winter break. So it would have been after my second semester and before my third semester. And I remember just like wanting to continuously watch the videos and learn more and more and more and more and more. And I continued to do that for a year. I watched all of her videos. I watched other people's videos, and I was starting to get more and more into the vegan lifestyle. I was not completely vegan yet. I was eating very similar to the vegan lifestyle, but I was still eating animal products, unfortunately. And I don't know what video it was, but it just like clicked in my head, like, wow, what are we doing to the animals, and what are we doing to ourselves? And I'm thinking, why haven't I just switched over to being completely vegan? I had made a video about it, and it's still there. I never delete any of my videos, and it says something about veganism and talking about Freely and what you guys thought. And I realized once I finished that video and I watched another video of hers, it must have been around the same time because I became vegan in December of 2014, I think. Because that would have made it a year this year. Yeah. So I watched one of her videos, and as I said, everything just clicked. And I completely transferred over from being a meat eater to eating vegan. Now, I was incorporating quite a bit of the vegan lifestyle. I was having the smoothies and everything. I really did have meat. Like, I wasn't a huge meat person to begin with, so I did have it, but I would say I more gave up the dairy because I would have like a lot of cheese. I was allergic to milk, so I couldn't have milk. I would already have like rice milk and almond milk and soy milk, so that wasn't really a big transition. It was really just the cheese. I used to like constantly crave cheese, and I think it was like a calcium deficiency that I was having. Now I really don't crave cheese. Like, I used to seriously crave cheese like a lunatic. I would come home and I don't know, from whatever, it was usually at night, and I would take a big block of mozzarella cheese and I would cut it and I would eat a nice chunk of mozzarella cheese. And I realized that that's like a secretion, and it's really gross to think about now what I was eating, but you're not really educated on what you're putting into your body. You know the cow is coming from the milk is coming from a cow, but you don't really understand the full process. The same with the chickens. Chickens is like the saddest process that the chickens go through. I mean, all of the animals really are targeted so harshly, and I didn't really understand it until I watched some documentaries and some videos on it. I still have yet to watch something conspiracy. I forget what it is. That's one that's supposed to have changed a lot of people over to being vegan. And I felt so powerful about it already that I really didn't need to see the videos, because I kind of knew what was happening, but I didn't. Once I did see a little bit of the videos, I was like, I can't watch this anymore. As soon as I saw the chicken video, I immediately stopped eating any eggs and things like that. So it really did have a huge impact on me, and I would say that Freely had an extremely large impact on me, because I watched all of her videos, and I watched her 30 videos in 30 days and everything that she was doing, and I was like, well, that's easy enough to incorporate into my life. I don't understand why I can't do that. So that's when in the summer I started to really start to eat extremely healthy, and people would be like, wow, you're like the healthiest person that I've ever seen with my eating, because I'd bring in like huge smoothies and I'd bring in a lot of fruit, and it's really what we're supposed to be eating. So I'm really glad to now I'm obviously vegan, and I've been vegan for a year, and it's probably one of the best life changes that I ever made. I am feeling so much better, and I no longer go to the hospital with stomach problems, and my migraines have died down. I really don't have them anymore. My headaches have almost gone away. I have them on occasion. But I think that the vegan lifestyle kind of saved my life in a way from really just focusing on dieting and not focusing on my life and living my life, but so focused on what I was eating and counting my calories and being so restrictive and being so hungry, where now I'm consuming a lot of calories, and it's hard to actually consume the 2,400 calories. You have to really work towards it in a day, and I feel better. And now, because now that I understand how the animals are treated, I'm now advocating for them as well, because they really don't have a voice, and the industry is such a harsh industry in general, and the way the animals are treated is just horrible. So my view is, if I wouldn't kill the animal, if I saw the animal on the street and I was hungry, if I wouldn't kill the animal, then why was I eating it? So, because a real carnivore would kill its meal or its prey. So we've now taken that out, given that job to someone else, and now it's like, okay, let me just go to the supermarket. And we don't realize the connection, that the disconnection in our brain to that a life was actually killed in the process of you getting this food there's such a disconnection from an animal being killed to it being in the supermarket and you picking it up, because you're not realizing everything that's going on before you're getting your meat. So that's when I got the viewpoint of, if I wouldn't kill it, then I wouldn't eat it. So it's just my perspective on the vegan lifestyle and what I have overcome in the process of becoming vegan, and the positive experiences that I've had being vegan for only a year. And I do have weight goals, and I have things like that, but I've taken stuff kind of out of it. I don't really weigh myself anymore. I just work out consistently, and I try to stay as active as possible, especially because sitting here and being on YouTube is very sedentary. So I make sure to go and walk around the house or go up and down the stairs a few times, as well as do my workouts. Usually what I will do is yoga in the morning, and I will do a workout towards the evening, usually before dinner. So I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from in my journey and where it's brought me. And I want you to follow along with me and kind of take in, if you're not vegan and it's something that you've been trying to accomplish in your life or something that you've been trying to do, understand that you're killing animals when you're eating them. So when you do take a bite of your tasty chicken and steak in your head, you're say to yourself, why am I eating like other beings? One of my goals is actually to go to a farm sanctuary and see how those animals are, and I've seen some videos of the sanctuaries and how happy the animals are, and they're not in little cages and cooped up, but they're actually free to roam around. And I imagine myself as that animal, and I'm thinking, wow, if I was that animal, I'd be so happy to live in that type of environment instead of being slaughtered or taken away from your mother before you're even a few weeks old. A lot of people don't understand the lifestyle and they don't get it, and I think they would get it if they really did have to kill the animal. It's just so unfortunate that we don't realize what we're doing and how destructive we're being towards our planet. We kind of come in with a we're taking over type of approach when the animals were here before us and they were doing just fine. I hope you enjoyed my story about my transformation from being a meat eater to being vegan, and understand that it's a pretty simple lifestyle and easy lifestyle to live, and it can be relatively cheap if you're eating whole foods. Once you get into the snacky stuff that's kind of fun to have once in a while, it does start to get expensive, so just keep that in mind, that maybe you want to go on Pinterest and find videos for yourself that are whole food based, or you want to go on YouTube and find videos for yourself that are whole foods based, especially if you're a student and you're on a really tight budget. You can see how other students live as a vegan in dorm rooms and different things like that. So I hope you guys understand my perspective on veganism and enjoy this 30 videos in 30 days series. I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.